Yes guys, I'm Dan, I'm from KillerWipers.com. Welcome to episode 2 of our Honda Ruckus build series. On this episode, we're going to strip the bike down. I've never stripped one of these apart before. It's only nuts and bolts, so I assume it's going to be pretty easy. We're going to start off with these 12mm nuts. We're going to take the seat off. So as I take it apart, I'm going to bag everything up and label it, just because, as I've done with my Mark II, when you take it apart, you forget where everything goes, so makes it a little bit easier. It's all or nothing. This is what happens when your tools are made from chocolate and from Aldi. This is just so we can expose the frame, so we can literally strip it all into pieces and then send it off to be powder coated. So this is a Polini de-restrictor, so it can do more than 28 miles an hour. The other Ruckus I've got also has one of these, but since I got it, it's had starting issues. I spoke to the Ruckstyle UK, and apparently these can really create starting issues, but this one seems to run fine. But the other one, I've had it running once, and then since then it's stopped, so I need to look into that. Also, the other Ruckus has got an oil leak, a really small one, so when I strip that down, I need to see where that's coming from. So yeah, let's get into it, and we'll start taking out the fuel tank. I think that's where we'll go next. Take off this cowling, go from there. Literally have no clue, I'm just trying to take it apart methodically. Just while I've got your attention, go and check out our other videos. On Christmas Day, we're going to have a Killer Wipers documentary, which just shows you the growth of what's happened this year with COVID-19. It's been absolutely mental, and I've been running the company pretty much on my own, so go check that out. Cool, I've taken off the cowling, which sorry, I'm already bleeding, aren't I? Of course I am. So I've removed the cowling. I'm going to remove all this front end, which hold the lights on first, and then I think I'm going to go backwards and start stripping off the petrol tank, try and releasing the motor from the frame. So yeah. There we go. So this is going to go and get powder coated from Tilling Alloy Refurbishment. They don't just refurbish alloys, they do powder coating of everything. So I'm going to run up there later on, take all the parts that I want powder coated, but this section's going to go black, and I'll reveal the colour of the bike when we get to Tillings. So I've noticed since building this bike, well, I've not even started building it yet and taking it apart, but a lot of people got in contact with me. One of those guys is Jamie, who's got a Ruckus that's called the Deliver Ruck. You should check out his Instagram, go and check out his page. That is such a sick build. Jamie sent me some parts that he wasn't using. He's given me some mirrors and also a stem, which you can put a digital speedo in. So I just want to shout him out and say thank you so much. Along with that, another guy got in contact with me, Daryl. His Instagram is below, and he sent me a fuel filter bracket, but it was made out of carbon. Now, the fuel filter is obviously inside the fuel tank on this one because it's fuel injected, but I might GY6 it, so it might come in handy. So I'll put it in my parts box. I just want to say thank you so much for that as well, because it's a cool little scene. It seems to be like, it's a small scene in the UK, but so far the people that I've interacted with have been really, really nice. So I just wanted to shout you guys out and say thank you very much. Yeah, just like a rocket, we need the bass and we need the drama. We own this place, yeah, we own this place. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. Okay, so I've had this idea, I've not seen it done anywhere, but a lot of people swap this out for kind of like a lower sitting bracket for your lights, but what I want to do is relocate these indicators. I'm going to grind off these on the back and take off the reflectors and put them at the side just so they're lower down. I just think it probably looks a little bit neater. So I've taken it apart, but this hole isn't big enough to accept the thread on the indicators, so I'm going to measure it and then I'm going to drill this out and grind these off, and then I can send this for powder coating. Like I said before, it's going to be black, so I just think it'll be a lot cleaner without that and the headlights down there, so I'm going to do that and just see if it works. I've now grinded off the tabs here, so not gonna lie, I still need to grind some bits off the back. I did kind of go into the frame there, so I'm gonna have to sort that out. But at the same time, while stripping it down, a lot of people cut this off, and I had an idea of basically relocating this so the reg plate would still stick down here, but it'd be a lot cleaner. So I think what I'm gonna have to do is, once I've stripped the frame down, before it goes to powder coating, I'm gonna take it to my friend Luke's, who's a welder. I'm no good at welding whatsoever, I've never even done it, so I think I'm going to get him to grind this off and actually use the original piece but stick it under here so the plate will stay on, and then grind off any of the pieces that I need to grind off that aren't going to be used anymore, and then we're going to get the frame powder coated. So there's quite a lot more than I thought there was. Once you come actually into stripping the bike, it's like, oh, actually I need to do this, I need to do that. So we're going to get the rest of the loom off, and then we're going to try and separate the engine and everything from the frame, so we're literally just left with this piece. All this plastic will be off and literally the frame will be on its own, and then I'll go to work on the frame, grinding bits off on another episode. Okay, as you can see, the bike is in absolutely pieces. The loom's off, the bike's in two halves, bits absolutely everywhere. So I think what I'm going to do, just to make sure I don't lose track of each individual bit, I'm going to have a tidy up. I'm going to put them in certain boxes just to, you know, make sure when I come back to build the bike, I've got everything where it needs to be. I have bagged up bolts and put labels of them, etc. But I think this is like a good point just to kind of stop and reevaluate before I just end up taking all these bits off and losing track of what I've taken off. As I said, I've never taken a bike like this apart. I've never even taken a scooter apart ever before, and I've pretty much done it with a Halford's socket set and a grinder. So there's a few things I do need to do. I need to make some modifications to the frame, because a lot of people just grind off that back plate that I showed you before. I think I'm going to try and mount it, cut it off and re-weld it just at a different angle so I can have my registration plate on the back of the bike, which is where I want it. And then the lights, the LED light that we've got is going to sit underneath the seat, so it'll be a super clean look. So yeah, I think that's the end of today's episode. The next episode, I will have grinded all the bits and bobs off the frame and we're going to send it for powder coating. Alright guys, thanks a lot for watching. If you want to subscribe, click the button below. If you want to follow us on Instagram, it's @kill_all_wipers. Thank you so much. Cheers.